everybody. We are back.
Good morning. Good morning. How is everybody? Welcome back to Health, Wealth, and Relationships with Tisa
and Grant.
Happy Thursday, everybody. So we are well in the month of May and almost over with May.
May has been great too.
May has got a lot of stuff that we covered. So hopefully you guys have gotten some information on all of the things we covered in May. And May is also blood pressure education awareness month.
So we did stroke.
We did stroke.
We did cancer.
We did women's health.
Women's health just last week.
Yeah. So now we're going to cover blood pressure.
Blood pressure is a big one.
Blood pressure is a big one because nearly 1 in 2 people have high blood pressure.
So I'm sitting here.
That's shocking to me.
No, she says she doesn't have any high blood pressure issues at all.
My blood pressure is always perfect.
So what does that tell you about me? That means I might be on the.
Do you know your numbers?
I did. 2 weeks I get a physical, so I'm going to know my numbers.
So we always say, people, know your numbers.
Know your numbers.
I know my numbers. I've never had high blood pressure. Both of my parents had high blood pressure and took medicine forever. And so I'm all against anything that they had to do forever. Like they had to take blood pressure medicine. They had to take all kind of medication. I'm so anti-medication. Don't take any medication for anything. And so, my blood pressure is always great. But do we even know what high blood pressure is?
See, that we was doing a little study. We had to find these things like everybody knows about high blood pressure. They know it can cause hypertension. It can cause heart disease. It can cause a lot of different things. But what is really the root cause of these things? And we found out some very interesting statistics around this, right?
Well, first of all, the definition of blood pressure, high blood pressure, is a long-term medical condition. It's long-term. It's something that starts off one way and can get worse as you age because of various factors. And we're going to talk about that. But it's a long-term condition. And it's also known as the silent killer. The silent killer, because people don't know their numbers. And if you don't know your numbers, you don't know if they're high. And if you live, and Black people, we live in a chronic state of stress, I think.
It's about that. That's a good definition of it.
I think we do. Just really being Black and being, in the climate that we're in, and they're trying to erase our history and just all of that.
Cultural stress.
Man, cultural stress.
That's a syndrome.
Look, existing while being Black is stressful.
In this country.
It ain't
everywhere.
In this country.
It seems to be a thing.
And it seems to be getting worse, and that's kind of scary. But we're not gonna let them. But there people are trying to erase our history, erase our Blackness, and so that's stressful in itself.
You know what? I'm gonna put this out because it was so interesting when I went to St. Croix, the Virgin Islands, and it is a completely Black-run island. Several islands. And you don't feel, it's almost like the clouds lift. You don't feel any kind of cultural stress. I put it like that.
Nice.
It's just not there.
Is it because everything is Black ran?
It's indigenous. So it's an indigenous African Caribbean American culture, and you just feel the belonging. There's people, and there's other people there. It's not just all Black people. That type of stress that we feel, especially in the mainland, it's just non-existent. It's just not there.
Yeah. Well, that's because everywhere you look, there's Blackness, and that's a good thing. No, really, we feel good and within seeing ourselves in businesses and all of that stuff. It just adds to our proudness, which is opposite of what you see.
Maybe we need to reduce Nebraska. Our stress by going out to the Virgin Islands once a year.
And we live in Nebraska.
Yeah, we do.
Yes, there's Black people here. Yes, there's Black people in Nebraska.
A lot of them.
But it doesn't feel like the Virgin Islands at all when you live in Nebraska.
No.
Everybody's pretty much in one area of town. We're North and South Omaha, the people of color, and it's still very segregated here in Nebraska. I think
that's something.
It's very segregated here. So cultural stress, just being Black, is a thing. Is a thing. You have to walk a mile in a Black person's shoes to understand.
How does my pressure go up as I go past 72nd Street?
No, as you come down, as you come into the hood. As you come down to the hood, does it get stuff?
I don't know, one way or the other, is something happens.
I think it should bring it down. It makes me feel good to be around my people and my people. We can share in the struggle. We can really share in what's going on with us and just what's stressing us out. Chronic stress is the main factor in high blood pressure.
And that's
chronic stress.
Chronic
right.
Stress.
And so when we talk about chronic stress, that means stress all the time. Right. And life is stressful. I mean, life is stressful. So we all have stress. So we got to recognize that it's really how we deal with the stress, just like anything. We all have stress. We all have things that come and go in our lives that's going to bring us higher blood pressure. But it's really how you cope with it and how you deal with it. Know your numbers, for one.
What you said, well, we were doing some research earlier, and I'm starting to understand this a little better. So when you're younger, you're not experiencing what you call high blood pressure. Usually it's pretty
chronic stress,
or a lot of stress, because somebody else is handling that stress. But as you get into that first adulthood, first children, family structure, the stress, that kind of stress builds up. But age is a factor that causes, as you age, you start to see your pressure go up. Also, as your hormones change, just like when you're younger, 15, 14, whatever it means, you're going through hormone changes and your body is shifting. Well, there's the other side of that arc, right? So as you get into your late 30s, 40s, especially for men, you start to experience changes in your body. We don't talk about that as much as men, but women, you hear about it a lot. And men, you don't.
No. And like you said, when you're young, all of those stresses are kind of taken care of for you. And so as you can be moving to adulthood, you got your own bills to pay, right? And you got your own, and that's kind of a main thing. That's a financial stress. But then you start getting in relationships and you start getting married and all kind of stuff, and that brings stress. And so just adulting brings stress. When you have the adult, it brings stress, right? Right? And so we have to learn how to just really take care of our stress. So some of the things that when you add it to other factors breeds that high blood pressure, right? Too much processed foods, right? And that goes back to everything. We really, really, really have to be conscious of the processed foods. Right. And a lot of foods are processed, even the frozen foods that we eat. So think about processed in terms of what the processed things have to go through when you're putting stuff in your mouth. Is it more natural to where its natural state, or did it go through a whole bunch of processes to get to where you're at eating it now? Yeah. So it's a conscious decision thinking about the processed foods. Sodium intake. What kind of stuff has sodium? High sodium.
Popcorn. I'm just thinking about things
that has salt in it.
But a lot of our food naturally from the store has already a lot of sodium
processed.
In it.
That's
then
processed.
When we even add salt and salt-like products to it, now you're getting even more sodium that's already. And there's a lot of food that has sodium, probably more than it should.
And
just
salt.
Coming off the shelf.
How many of you guys salt your food before you even taste it?
No, because
some people just reach
for preservative, right? It's a preservative. So if it's not naturally, as they say, farm to table, because you're not trying to preserve it, because it's natural. But if you're trying to hold on to it, it's like you always say, if whatever there was on that shelf for the last 10 years, that might be a problem. So how's that lasting?
I mean, really pay attention. Pay attention. Right. But if you're one of those people who just salt your food automatically, that's a behavior. So some people reach for the salt shaker or the salt pepper shaker, and the pepper's better than the salt, just automatically before you even taste your food. It's like it automatically got that salt. And my son started doing that, and I said, "Why are you seasoning my spaghetti?" And he was just like, but he also just automatically grabs that salt and pepper. It's a habit. It's a habit. Yeah. So leave that salt alone. Cook with the seasonings and all that. You won't need that salt because salt breeds sodium. We don't want that.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Poor sleep. As you get older, sleep is more important too. People don't really think about sleep as a real big health factor, but it really, really is.
Got to recharge.
Well, and that's when your body is recharging and healing.
Yeah.
You're healing your sleep. You regenerating your sleep. Everything is kind of recharging your sleep. So if you're not getting sleep, if you're always up here and you don't downtime and just like plug in your phone and recharge, you're not going to have good health outcomes. So sleep is just as important as running around doing everything you have to get that sleep. I get my 8 hours. How many hours you get sleep?
If I add it up, probably about 7 to 8. But it's like I said, is it restless sleep? Like you're waking up and then going back and waking up. I get a good sound 8 hours of good soundless sleep.
You get 8 hours of sound sleep?
At least soundless sleep. Very quiet sleep.
Mine is hit and miss. As I get older, in menopause and postmenopause, all that'll take us through that. But it's hit and miss. But only usually when I have events like coming up, like it's not as sound because my brain is racing. But normally I get a good 6 to 8 myself, and it's real important. Your family history now. Like I said, both my parents had high blood pressure. So you have to pay attention to your family history and all of these things. I am calling the devil a liar that I'm ever going to get high blood pressure. Both of my parents had high blood pressure. Both of my parents took medication forever. Probably since they were in their 40s.
Okay.
Until they passed in their
at 40.
40s.
Wow.
Till they passed in their 70s, late 70s. And
30
so
years.
remember that high blood pressure, it's a trick. It's to me a systematic trick. If we can control these other things, I think you can prevent the high blood pressure. But if you don't, they will put you on a medication forever.
And you were saying, like, African Americans, and just in general, often develop hypertension earlier in life and more severely. Now, that's something to think about. Yeah. If we know we were starting in your adult ages, you start getting into your 30s and 40s, you're already starting to get hypertension that early. Yeah. It's like, wow, because I know age has something to do with it. We know that. And then your hormonal changes. But 30s and 40s, why are we getting it that early?
That's a good question. Why do we get everything early? Everything is, I just got to just speak to the Black people. We're just bad at taking care of ourselves. And I'm going to blame ourselves. I'm not going to, some of it is systematic, I think, when it comes to this medication, that kind of stuff. But I just think we just don't do a good job of taking care of ourselves. I see it. I see it in the way we act, in the way we move, in the way we eat. I can go to the grocery store and just follow 1-2 carts around, and it's a direct result of what they're in their cart is how they look. People that, get 6 packs and 12 packs and 14 packs and 24 packs of pop. Yeah. Those people are usually obese. Yeah. And are not in good health because too much just processed and pop ain't good for y'all. I'm just saying, if you can just switch out pop for water, some alkaline drink, some green tea, something that's helpful to your body, that's 10 pounds right there. If you just need to shed 10 pounds, take pop out your diet if you're a pop drinker.
Just soda.
I haven't had soda. Man.
Maybe, you bring up something because, early in life, going to the park, summertime is a good in summertime now, you're consuming a lot of potato chips and popcorn and soda. But if you never change that behavior getting into your adult life.
And you're not going outside and you're not running and you're not running at all.
Right. Yeah.
So it's a bad habit that'll stick with you that as your body changes, you're not changing with the body in terms of your habits. And so, it becomes all of that. So if you're not getting sleep and, emotional, traumatic people, if you got drama-filled people in your life, if you're one of those people who are connected to somebody who loves trauma and drama, that's a disconnect for you. Okay. Because trauma and drama brings chronic stress. You start stressing about their stress, right? You're taking on their stress, and so drama-filled people. As you get older, you start saying, "I'm done with the drama. I'm done with drama-filled people." You just kind of get to that point where you don't even want to deal with drama. It's exhausting to deal with drama the older you get, right?
You got to change that channel.
Man, change that channel.
Now, here's something. I'm going to put this up on the screen. And you brought this up. Okay. We have to know
your numbers.
Our blood pressure, our numbers, as you said. I don't know exactly my number. I know I was around 150s. Hey, you need to bring that down. So usually I'm probably in that 120 or so range. But if you don't know your numbers, this is a great chart. Take a snapshot of it. Go ahead and scrape it, do whatever you can do, but remember these numbers, and then go ahead. You can go to Walmart, you can go to Walgreens, you can go to a lot of different places. I'd probably look at Amazon for a real good one. You might spend a little bit more, but remember, this kind of pressure is important to know your numbers.
Well, especially if you've ever had high blood pressure. I've never had high blood pressure, even going in to get a checkup. So I won't buy a machine. But if you're anybody who has ever had a high blood pressure, they say you want to watch your numbers or know your numbers and say it's kind of high today. If you've ever went in there, go ahead and invest in one of those machines. Why not? To make sure you know your numbers, because you got to know your numbers. And if you're not one of those people who just say go into Walgreens, I think the machines, they might be free at Walgreens, but if not, it's very minimal.
But you want to know you got
to know your numbers.
They're doing the same thing when you go to a doctor's office. One of the first things they do, they check your
blood pressure,
right?
Because that regulates everything. Yeah, they got to know where. So they want to know your baseline when you walk in the door. Are you stressed now? Is your blood pressure high now? Because if they need to do something immediately to get your blood, because if you have too much high blood pressure, it leads to what?
Oh, diabetes, stroke.
Right, we just did strokes last time. Sure, high blood pressure and hypertension leads to stroke. That's why we can avoid stroke. That's why they say, that you have the power to end strokes is because you have the power to control your stress level. Well, you really do. You have the power to control your stress level.
Diet, exercise. I think those 3 things kind of go right.
Always. You know what? And so, in terms of that, reducing your stress. Practice that deep breathing. We always talk about breathing. Yeah. It says, practice deep breathing daily, practice walking daily. So if you haven't done nothing else all day, make sure that you get up and move.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can breathe anywhere you're at. Right. You don't
like
have
that.
to go somewhere to breathe. Breathing is free. Breathe, take breathing, do your 4 count breaths. When you feel that tension coming on, know your triggers. If you know you're going to go into a stressful situation, breathe first. Breathe first in the morning before you start your day. I mean, just breathe.
Intentional breathing. Intentional. Take a deeper breath than you normally would.
4 counts is good because it makes you hold it. You know, people be like,
that's like more stress.
don't put yourself in hypertension breathing too fast, but breathe slowly. So be intentional about your breathing and connect with positive people and supportive people.
Mm-hmm.
So get rid of those drama-filled people that just like to stay in the midst.
If you can, sometimes, or just lessen, you know what their triggers are.
And, I don't care. Get rid of them. Even if they're your kids, limit the time with them. If they're a maid, get rid of them. Because really, it's just
I'm gonna go outside and breathe, y'all. So,
I say get rid of people. And eat those things that, do those things that are going to reduce your stress. Mm-hmm. We always talk about the walking, Tai Chi.
Tai Chi is always.
I started my Tai Chi. You did you start your Tai Chi?
I've been doing Tai Chi in the morning. I get up, my clock goes off at 6 a.m. That doesn't mean I'm going to jump out of bed at 6 a.m.
Okay.
But I know at 6 a.m., typically I'm not looking at emails. People aren't calling me. I've got a lot of time to really assess my day. Okay. And I need to assess myself.
Sure.
This is a great time to do some deep breathing, to go ahead and move your body, as you said, use a little Tai Chi, get some
warm the body, blood flowing. Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows in Nebraska, it's the first thing you do. You start your car, you let it warm up, right?
In the winter.
Well,
not mine. Mine start. Yeah.
Well, you know what I'm talking about. Yep. You got to get things warmed up. You got to get the juices flowing, right? And that's what I'm doing.
And Tai Chi is great.
Yeah. That's a great way to do it.
Meditation is good. Yeah. Warm up your brain.
Right.
Get that breathing going. De-stress before you know it. If you know what your day is going to be like, it's going to be a lot of stuff going on. Go ahead and de-stress beforehand. And then right after those meetings, breathe again.
Yeah.
Just keep yourself in a good calm
state. Get it to where it's a habit, not something you're just thinking about like, all right, I need to reduce my stress. But when you start knowing,
you got it. We all have it.
We can do it.
We all have it. So that should be a daily thing. What am I going to do to reduce my stress today? Because you're going to have some stress today. So what are you going to do today to reduce your stress? And like you said, make it those habits. And then when you know your triggers, use those habits, use those tools afterwards, before, to kind of keep you maintained. Because if it's going to be like, just be like, okay, I already know. Talk to yourself. This is gonna be a stressor. Don't let it get to you. Just take for a different.
Because what happens is, if you don't process your stress, the next day or potentially the next week, you're gonna have a bigger stress than you weren't anticipating, right? So now it's compounded, and now you're starting to breathe heavy because your heart rate's going to go up, and everything else starts to get out of harmony.
Oh yeah, like headaches. I have people who get migraine headaches. They're stressed out, and they let their stress get to a point where now it's turned into a headache. People don't get sleep. People don't. Your body definitely reacts to stress, right? And then what? Your blood pressure goes up. You're going to the doctor, and they say, "We're gonna put you on blood pressure medicine. We gotta bring that blood pressure down." Forever.
Or you start doing those bad habits. You smoke too much. Or more than you normally do, or than the alcohol, and then it becomes a cyclical, compounded situation. Over time. And then you wonder why you're in the hospital. We're talking about some of the financial things that you're going to go through, right? Especially if you don't have insurance, you find yourself in an emergency, and then you're going to get that bill, and guess what? Your pressure goes back up.
Right, because there's more chronic stress on top of the regular stress. And so it's kind of being proactive about your stress. Really, just if you can control your stress levels, then you can control if you got to go to the doctor, if you got to be on blood pressure medicine. All of those things are prevention. We always want to go the preventive. It doesn't have to be. You don't have to be on blood pressure medicine. You can really have control over the things. And so, and even in terms of eating, we always talk about eating. You have to eat more potassium-rich foods to keep your stress down. Potassium keeps your stress down. Specifically potassium. What kind of foods have potassium in?
Well, you talked about raisins. I didn't think about raisins.
Yes,
raisins. Everybody knows
raisins good for regulating a lot of stuff.
Raisins
regulate your stool, and it keeps your flow and your fiber. It's good fiber. It's good fiber. Bananas. Every time I go, now this is what happens. Every time I do go into the doctor once a year, since I've been over 50, 55, they tell me my potassium is low.
Oh, really?
And I can see that and so now I'm eating more avocados, which is good at potassium. I'm trying to eat more bananas, although my son, he eats them before I can get to them. But bananas in our smoothies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Sweet potatoes is a good form of potato, and regular potatoes too.
Love it.
So eat some more of those things. If and they'll tell you if your potassium is low too when you go to the doctor.
And they're tasty, and you don't have to over flavor them or put more seasoning on them. They're pretty naturally seasoned, right?
Yeah, or pretty naturally bland that it's not something you can't do. Like I did used to be in avocados. Avocados doesn't have a bad taste. Yeah. It's a pretty bland taste. You can spice it up or whatever, but avocados is almost a wonder food in terms of just a lot of good.
Like superfood.
It's like a superfood. And I'm into my avocado toast and stuff now. So change of habits as I get older. So how do I get this potassium in my system? So I don't want to go and say, I got to eat a bunch of bananas, me and bananas sometimes and sometimes, but I can eat avocados, I can eat potatoes, I can eat sweet potatoes.
And you know yourself and you know what you like. Yeah. And you make those. This is the thing, when you bring these things up, that is what they call it, especially if you go to the African continent. These are their natural, everyday food that they eat. And if you ever notice, hypertension is not big in Africa.
Right.
So what are they eating? What are they doing that's different
Lots of
from
vegetables,
what we're doing?
And rich vegetables. And they're growing their own foods too. They're growing their own foods, and they're growing those sweet potatoes and stuff like that. So
they don't have all those preservatives, in the supply chain of their food.
That's right.
Right.
Direct from the ground to the table.
I'm starting to notice. I know my family members are doing this now. They're getting these gardens that you can buy them. They're very inexpensive. You can get them off of Amazon, put them in the backyard. You'll fill them up with some good soil. You can get the seeds in there. And within a couple of months, basically, you've got a garden full of vegetables that now are coming from your table, and then you're digesting, exactly what was in it because you did it. Yeah. And then they're very, very good for you.
Yeah, my sister, that's so funny that you said that. So my sister she's starting trying to do something with our family so she has a backyard garden. So she has all these things in tubs and she lives in a duplex. And so she doesn't live in a house anymore. And so she was wanting to show people how to, look, go for it, TT. Show people how to grow vegetables in a patio garden is what she's calling it.
Right,
different pots and different things grow better in different pots and different soils. So I say go for that. Even in the smallest spaces, you can have your own garden.
Yes, you can.
Basically what that's teaching you.
Yeah.
And so TT's going to be showing us, and maybe we can show some of her. Maybe she's gonna do some videos. We're gonna get.
I'd love to see what she grew.
Yeah. Oh, right? I showed her garden before. Right? Yeah. But she knows what she's doing, and it's just you don't have to have a big garden. You can just have these little pot space, and you can just a patio, and so it's a good idea to grow your own stuff. You know where it's coming from. You know where it's coming from.
A lot of these, and then it's going to reduce your stress. You're doing something that actually
just working in the soil reduces your stress.
Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we talked about the health, the wealth a little bit. We already know if you're not proactive about it, it's all going to cost you. Ching. It's going to cost you money in the long run.
Someone was asking me, said, well, so Grant, what's the best way, when you're dealing with the healthcare system, and say, don't have to use it.
Right.
Just
try to avoid being part of it.
Hopefully, if you do, you have to go through these things. I'm not saying that, but if you can avoid it, you can avoid it by doing the things that we're talking about, right? Preventive. Remember, especially hospitals are not about prevention. They're in crisis management. You have to understand what healthcare facility are doing. What do they do? What are they there for? Like an emergency, that's an emergency. So if you have an emergency, you're going to do that. Prescriptions, they're in the business of prescribing you drugs. That's their job. That's what keeps their lights on. So understand what they do and why they do it, right? So understanding that if you're not taking care of intentionally, you're not taking care of your health, you're going to affect your wealth.
Absolutely.
They're both coincide together.
They coincide. Right? Because you can't be healthy and be making money. Right. Unhealthy and making money, it's right? Hard. It's going to affect your income. It's going to affect your lost wages. It's going to affect your income, your insurance going up. It's going to affect all of that.
You just said, like I was telling people 3 months ago. Remember, you changed health insurance. They're a little man's gonna come to or woman gonna come to your house, knock on your door, and like, I'm here to go ahead and
give you a physical.
Give you a physical right then and there.
Yeah.
They're gonna know if you got high blood pressure. They're gonna be able to know a lot of things that you might have put on your form, but they're coming out there to make sure that you are a good risk for them from a health perspective. And it depends on how old you are and all those kind of things. However, your premium's gonna go up.
So preventative wise, if you can keep healthy and they come out and do that little check, you ain't got high blood pressure, you ain't got this, you ain't got that, your premium is going to be lower.
Right.
Versus, looks like, you're the higher risk.
Yeah.
Your premium is going to go up. So it pays to be healthy.
It does.
It pays in the long run.
It pays to be healthy. I want you to write that down. It pays to be healthy and be intentional about managing your health. Very, very important.
So in terms of blood pressure, let's remember it goes up as you get older.
Yeah.
So for women, we start off low, and then men kind of take the charge and the lead between the ages like 40 and 55.
Yeah. Our pressure goes up.
And because of what for men?
I'm thinking because now our testosterone level is going down.
Right. It's a direct correlation to your hormone
change.
Yes.
And it's natural. But our pressure is going up. But if we're not aware of this, and then we're adding to the pressure with bad habits, that obviously that's going to lead to some bad results.
Yeah. So remember, it's directly connected to your hormones. Mm-hmm. And so as you get older, after 65, and now this has kind of surprised me. It says after 65, women's increase of getting high blood pressure goes up.
A lot.
And this is because of, again, hormonal. So our estrogen level goes down. Your progesterone level or testosterone levels goes down. Yep. And so when that stuff goes down, the risk of getting high blood pressure goes up. So you're less what do I say? But people say you need to drink more water.
Yeah, hydrated.
You start getting dehydrated when you get older. Your body just naturally kind of dries up when you get older.
It
dries up. Everything dries up.
It changes.
So as you get older, they say even when you have sex, a woman's vagina dries up when you have it. As you get older, you need more hydration. Like I said, when my dad got older, every time he went into the hospital, they said, well, he's dehydrated. And we're like, he has a thing of water all the time. But was he drinking it? I don't know.
And was it? Because your body is changing. And
he really wasn't giving him alkaline water back then, too. Because sometimes you can drink water and it doesn't do anything for your body.
Yeah,
alkaline,
water, right.
Alkaline is the main thing in you. So, stay hydrated. Just know you dry up as you get older. You dry up.
Well, those numbers you were talking about.
Oh, my God.
Now, remember, it was 1 out of 2. So 50% after the age of 40 start to have high blood pressure, especially in the Black community. But it jumps to 75% after I think it was age 65 for women. That's a lot.
That's a lot. Devil's a liar. I am 63. If they tell me I got high blood pressure, I'm a faint right there. I'm gonna be like, what? And I'm gonna be like, check messaging level and touch on.
Yeah.
Because I can't take hormone. People go into hormone therapy after 50, 65. People, menopause women go into hormone therapy. Their blood pressure's out of control, but their hormones are out of control.
Yeah.
Like they're all over the place. They got to regulate. I can't take hormone therapy because of the type of cancer that I have, breast cancer that I have. So I have to naturally use all these remedies to keep my stuff in check.
There you go.
And so that gives me like I have to. You can't get on hormone therapy. A lot of people say go to hormone therapy. You have all these limitless males and all these other women facilities that'll help you with hormone therapy.
Right.
You see a lot of commercials about hormone therapy. I can't take those. So I have to stick right to the book on the natural things to keep my blood pressure low, keep my stress low. So I don't have to worry about, trying to regulate my blood pressure.
But you know yourself, and because you've got a clinical diagnosis.
Well, I didn't know. I'm almost 65. Then it'll be like, damn, but is it going to change then?
Well, you'll know because you have a baseline. So because you have a baseline, you know yourself. You
it's been perfect.
Know where your numbers.
That was a liar.
And then all of a sudden you see to get remember, elevated blood pressure is above 120 over 80.
Right.
So if you're all of a sudden above 120 over 80, you're like, okay, what's going on? What has changed? Again, some of this is natural. You're just getting older, and hormonal changes you can't do a lot about. But you need to be aware of these things. To your point, know your numbers.
Know your numbers.
Let's not add to it.
So think of that 120 over 80. You want to stay less than that. Both numbers less than that.
Yeah.
The 120 is like the highest you should be to be normal. Once that starts changing, you get into that elevated age. So when you start getting like 120 over 129, your numbers shouldn't be that close. That's kind of, things are elevated. High blood pressure is 130 over 139, 130 over 90, 130. If you're in that 130, if somebody tells you 130 over anything, you already know you're hypertensive. So when you hear your numbers, when they're saying, what's your blood pressure? They say it's a lot. 130, even over 120, 125, over anything over 120 is considered above normal. So you want to keep it lower than 120. 120
I want people to understand what you would say about that high blood pressure. Let's say a lot of people remember when you had a bicycle or even in your car, you're putting air pressure into your tire, right?
Yeah.
Well, there's a rating. I think most of them are around 35 PSI, right? But if you go above, you put too much pressure in that tire, what happens when it goes over a bump? It's going to, usually you're going to have a flat tire. Well, what happens in your body? that is when, unfortunately, that's when you bust blood vessels.
Yeah.
You have stroke, you have aneurysms, you have heart attack. I mean, that is not a good thing to just like, oh, it's not high. Like, yeah, over time, as it gets higher, and then something happens. Remember what I said, it's circulating in a tire, but then when it hits a bump, which is added stress, could be it'll pop.
Which means stroke for a person.
Thank you.
When you get to that high blood pressure, that's why we said we can prevent strokes, because you're letting don't let your numbers get that high. Exactly. Don't let that stress level get to a point where you're at 130, 140, because you will be in stroke zones. If you go into the doctor and it's really high and they say, oh man, blah, 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 your numbers are really high, you could stroke out at any time. Sure. They're going to put you on some medicine right away. So again, to avoid that whole medication thing, control your numbers, control your stress. Do that deep breathing, because you can control those things, right? Yes. You can control if you breathe. Right. You know your triggers. You know the people who are toxic in your life. You know these things. Now it's like, what are you going to do about those things? So they don't stress you to a level that can get you in stroke zone. That's what it is, stroke zone.
Yeah, you're in that
That's why
zone.
You can prevent stroke zone.
Right.
So know your numbers. If you're at anything over that 120 mark when you first go in, just know you got to make some adjustments. And do me a favor. If they tell you're in that high tension zone and you're still in your 120s, try to reduce it yourself naturally. Yeah. Don't let them put you on a medication, because you might just be at a stressful time in your life and you just don't know how to reduce.
Know what's in that medication. Understand medication is
to keep you medicated.
Well, it's a lot of chemicals in, but what are those chemicals? What exactly makes that up? And to your point, is there a natural remedy that does really the same type of thing? You want to regulate your heartbeat, if that's what it is.
Regulate your heartbeat.
Right. So you can do that through certain homeopathic medication without having to then take a medication prescription. And remember what we said about, well, if you don't have insurance or it takes out of your monthly income, remember you get older, over 65, you might be on a fixed income. This is taken away from you. So we need to take control of our life. Take your life back.
Take your life back. Be prevention and be proactive instead of reactive, which we always say. It's only going to help you in the long run. Start eating better. And if you got high blood pressure, Google those things that can bring your blood pressure down that you can eat. Again, use food as medicine. Food is wellness. Food is health. Because really everything is here that we need. We just need to consume it and get rid of that other stuff. Consume what you need.
100%. I went to McDonald's not too long ago.
Oh my God!
It was still I got the number one. It was a big burger, fries, and something to drink. It still was $17. Guess what? I could have took that same money, the same amount of money.
It wasn't even good. Every time I hear somebody say go to McDonald's, then I ask them, was that a good meal when you got done? Like, did you say?
Did you feel better?
Yeah. Did you feel better? Did you feel good even?
So
did you?
No. I felt. I wasn't hungry anymore.
Okay. But did it make your body feel good?
As you said, over a half hour, check yourself. Over a half hour, usually half hour to hour, as you digest that food, how do you feel? To your point, are you tired? Are you lethargic? You don't have a loss of energy?
Is your stomach hurting?
But if you're eating something that's a little healthier choice.
Are you going to the bathroom?
All of that, real quickly, because your body says, I don't like this. This is not good for me, right? So you want to process something I can utilize, usually fruits, vegetables. As you say, did you have some color?
Well, that meal didn't have no color. I can tell if you had a number anything at McDonald's, they don't have none but brown.
I'm comparing the cost. You could have went to a healthier choice.
Absolutely.
Right? And got this. It's really that more like $1 or $2, maybe. It's all about $20 no matter what. Yeah. You might as well get $20 worth of good food that has some of those things that we talked about. It had some raisins in it, with some sweet potatoes in it, with some avocados.
See, and all those things are colorful. Avocados are bright green.
Right.
Sweet potatoes are orange.
Yeah.
All the bananas are yellow. All of those things have color. So if you kind of stick to my just general rule of eating color, if you've eaten something with color, it's probably good for you. 99% of the time, if it's got color, it's good for you.
Yeah.
From a pepper to a cucumber. Anything with color, all your fruits and vegetables have color.
Maybe we should do that. So check your pressure, before you went to McDonald's, and check it. Check it after.
Yeah, check it. It's gonna go up. It ain't gonna go down. It ain't gonna go down.
Yeah.
And start incorporating some of those good.
And then on the other side, if you're eating something healthy, check that in an hour or two. Like, hey, my pressure either went down, it's the same, whatever, maybe. But do your own experimentation, but have the tools that you need. If you're spending money on a vehicle, what are you doing to spend money on yourself or your own body? to maintain your.
Please take care of yourself as much as you take care of your vehicle.
Thank you.
And I don't think we do that, especially guys. Y'all make sure them guys. Right now it's gonna be warm today. Yeah. They out there shining rims and doing cars, and, spiffing it up, making sure it's purring and all that kind of. Give at least that much time to your own body.
Thank you. Look, you heard that, fellas? Tisa said, put some time into yourself as you do with your rim.
Man, it'll help your relationships.
It'll help you in the long run. Relationships.
So know your numbers. So the takeaways are: know your numbers always.
Know your numbers.
Be preventative about your health. Drink that water. Eat those things that'll bring your sodium level down. That'll give you potassium-rich foods. That'll also keep your blood pressure down.
Yeah.
What else?
I love that. Well, obviously we always say you got to move.
You got to what?
You got to move.
Eat right.
And move.
Tell
them, you got to be intentional. Walk around the block. Don't just I got to go to gym. You got to do all these other things that make stress. Don't do that. Do things that actually you can sit there and do calisthenics right in your own home, in your house, wherever you might be. Whatever that is, just make it happen for yourself because in the long run, it's going to help you. Mm-hmm. Even in the short run, it's going to absolutely help you. And I want to put out a request, especially to our restaurants here in the Omaha area. If you feel you have a healthy choice meal that you want people to then come to your restaurant and try that out, send us some information about that. Give us a discount code that says, hey, if you put this code in from Health, Wealth, and Relationships, we're going to give you money off. We're going to match that dollar menu over there at McDonald's and have you come into our restaurant and get a healthy choice.
McDonald's will not be calling us.
They won't, probably not.
McDonald's will not be calling. I don't even does McDonald's even still have salads on their menu? They do. And it's probably not leafy greens, so don't go with those salads.
Just try it out. Well, Wendy's has some health, but I'm not talking about just our local. I love our mom and pops that are out there.
Sit down. We're gonna be doing sit down
restaurants, right?
Yeah,
right.
I'm not going to McDonald's, y'all. I already know that they don't have really good and healthy. Burger King, Wendy's, any of those burger places.
Go in, sit out. There's some really good choices out there. You have to look at their menus, but we want the restaurants to go ahead and say, hey, we want some of that traffic to come in here. We want to lower these numbers. We want to be
a part of the preventive game.
Right.
We're trying to keep you healthy.
Prevention. Exactly.
Get aboard.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. And remember, if you want to be a guest on Health, Wealth, and Relationships with
Tisa
and Grant, make sure that you comment. Send us an email. Go to the website at Pink Lotus Project Nebraska. There's a lot of information. There's a lot of resources there, right, Tisa?
That's right. Plug in Pink Lotus Project Nebraska. We have an event coming up next month. So we're already in almost June.
Yes,
Monday is June. Sunday is June.
Monday is June 1st.
June 27th, we're having our 6th annual Struck for the Cure fashion show. Please come out and support all cancer. This is an all cancer fashion show. We have prostate cancer, breast cancer, mostly this year, but it's a celebration of life for cancer survivors. So come out and celebrate it with us. It's going to be at Metro College Community Campus, the 27th of June.
The South Campus.
South Campus, the CAM building. Tickets are on sale now. So go to my page, Any Survivors page, go to our website to get tickets, $25 general admission, $40 for your VIP tickets. VIP is right around the stage. You'll be able to see us up close and personal. And if you know anybody who wants to still sponsor, we have sponsorships open for another week or so.
Yeah. And big shout out to CHI and Nebraska Medicine.
And Nebraska Medicine for sponsoring our event this year. We love it. Appreciate all the support. And Mary Ewing always comes out. Oh, let's plug that. So Mary Ewing is coming out and supporting. Not only coming out, he's in the show this year. Shout out to John Ewing for wanting to participate and still be a part of Pink Lotus's mission, really to address cancer in the Omaha metro area. He'll be modeling this year. He came out and spoke last year, which was lovely of him, but he's modeling this year. So
is that right?
He'll be in a couple of scenes this year. Shout out to Johnny Rogers, who is always in our show this year, every year. Shout out to Bill William King of 97.5, the boss, who is always in our show every year.
And we got to get first guy to come out. I saw Paul and
come out to the show.
I don't know if they need to participate or not, but they need to come out and cover the show.
Come on and cover the show, Sky. First Guy One. We're going to have them on our show. They're going to have us on their show. We want you guys to be aware of all of the podcasts.
Come on out.
that are giving out information. Our podcast is information, but there's information too in terms of
community, man, community voice.
And what's going on.
I love what they do.
Yep. Shout out to First Guy. So join us on the 27th.
Yes.
And don't forget to eat well and
move. Right. Thank you for tuning into the show. Come back next week. We're going to have a lot of big menu for June. Big menu for June.
Big menu for June.
Come on out. Eat right.
Imagine waking up with more energy, a peaceful mind, and relationships that grow stronger every day. That is the vision Tisa Harden and Grant McGaw want to help you achieve, and it all starts with simple, practical steps you can take this week. On health, wealth, and relationships, every episode brings you real stories and trusted experts. Tisa and Grant focus on 3 tactical steps each week. Small, doable moves that protect your health, grow your savings, and bring you closer to the people you love. No complicated rules, just real progress. Try a clinic-to-kitchen swap to boost your energy. Start a money buffer habit that quietly builds your financial confidence. Or try a 1-minute exercise that helps you reconnect with your partner. These quick wins are not chores. They are steps toward a better life. People who try just one intentional step report more energy, less money stress, and evenings full of laughter again. Join Tisa and Grant. Start small, live bigger. Tune in every Thursday at 10 a.m. on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, and subscribe now.